All right.
All right.
Dark days.
Dark days.
So we got through the dark days. Now we can get to your 1517.
Well, actually, before we get 1517, if I'm going to be picky, we need to understand that in the dark days, it wasn't just dark. There were some sparks.
Sparks in the dark.
There were sparks in the dark.
In the dark. Now, the trouble is the dark tried to put the spark out. There you go.
Well, they did try to put the sparks out, but because the sparks were from God, they couldn't be put out.
What, they lit a flame?
Yeah, so for example, right, there was a bloke called John Wycliffe.
Oh, yeah, John, yep.
John Wycliffe, born in England
English.
in 1330.
Well, 1329, yeah. But
1330.
Yeah. Well, 1329, but I don't mind.
1330.
Well, it depends what source you're looking at.
Well, yes, mine says 1330. That's
Well,
what we're
mine
going
says
with.
not.
Now, 1330. Now, remember what we said earlier? Bubonic plague. When was that?
1347.
1347.
Yeah.
Wycliffe 1330. Bubonic plague 1347. So he would have seen the bubonic plague arrive in England.
Yeah, but the English version of the bubonic plague didn't just wipe out a third, it wiped out half the population of England.
And you know, Wycliffe saw that, and he was sure that it was a judgment from God.
Yeah.
And it terrified him. And it drove him to his knees to plead with God for mercy. And it drove him to the Bible.
But the Bible was in Latin.
Yeah, but he could read Latin because he was a smart boy.
Why was he a smart boy?
Because he went to Oxford.
Did you go to Oxford?
Yes.
Can you read Latin?
No. But he read it, right? And he read the Bible, and he discovered a spark in the dark.
Yeah.
But because he knew that nearly no one else could read Latin.
Who could read Latin? We're English.
Right. So he made it his ambition to translate the Bible from Latin into English.
Beautiful.
Spark in the dark.
What an English bloke he was.
What an English bloke. And so he wanted the whole of England to know the truth of what the Bible says.
But they didn't have printing presses, so he had to write it out.
Right. And the church didn't like it, the Catholic Church.
No.
Because they said that the Pope was the great authority.
Yeah. But he said the Bible's over the Pope.
So that got him in a lot of trouble.
It got him in a lot of trouble. And of course there were three popes arguing anyway, so who was in charge? So the Bible was the thing.
And so the Bible is the great spark in the dark.
But he so loved the Bible, so loved your English bloke, yeah?
Yeah.
Not only did he write it out, loads of them,
Yeah.
he sent out LOL.
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 Oh, what do you mean?
LOL.
Can you expand?
Well, they were his preachers.
He had preachers called LOL.
Well, lollards.
Lollards.
Yeah, because they were called lollards because people said they sort of babbled and spoke a lot. But they spoke the word of God to the normal people. And it said that, you know, if you met two people on the road, one of them would be a Wycliffeite.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he had a big impact in England. Loads of people heard the spark in the dark, the light.
The
Do you know
spark
what?
in the dark.
And it wasn't just England.
No.
It spread into Europe as well. Wycliffe's writings got into Europe, and there was a man who read his writings called Jan Hus.
Jan Hus.
Do you know what Hus means?
Goose.
Goose. Good guess.
Yeah.
Goose.
Yeah.
Jan the Goose.
Yeah.
He read the writings of Wycliffe.
And he saw some really good cartoons as well. I like a cartoon, don't you?
Cartoon?
Yeah, he saw some cartoons, yeah.
You mean like little pictures?
Yeah, pictures, yeah.
Okay,
not Tom and Jerry, is it? It's
No,
not Tom and
yeah,
Jerry, is
right,
it? I mean,
right,
they came a lot later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the cartoon?
The cartoon had, like, a picture of Jesus with a crown of thorns on.
Yeah.
He turned it over and it had a picture of the Pope with a crown of gold on.
And that got Hus
And
thinking.
I said, hey, there's something wrong here. If we're following Jesus, why on earth have we got all lots of gold and buildings and...
So he began to think and to read and to spread the same teaching that Wycliffe was doing.
He absolutely did.
Spark in the dark.
Yeah, he really was a spark in the dark. Because you know how they tried to extinguish the spark in the dark, the goose?
How did they kill him?
They burnt him alive. Roasted him like a goose.
In fact, you know what? As he died, he said, "You may roast this goose for now, but in 100 years, a swan will sing."
That's amazing.
Do you know what year he died?
1415.
1415.
Yep.
100 years later, who comes on the scene?
Luther.
Luther.
Banging his thing on the door.
1517, he bangs his thing on the door.
100 years later.
There's the swan.
He's a swan.
Huss is the goose, Luther's the swan.
It's wonderful.
Anyway, so you got Wycliffe,
Yep,
spark in the dark. You got Huss, spark in the dark. One other thing.
Yep.
Right. There was a time called the Renaissance,
Yeah.
and it was like a time when they went back to the original. They went back to the sources.
Yeah. And that made them go back to what does the Bible say?
Right.
Yeah.
And not just the Latin Bible.
No.
So they went back even
Greek.
further than Wycliffe. They went
Greek.
back to the Greek Bible.
Yeah.
A bloke called Erasmus
Yeah.
went to the Greek Bible and produced a translation of the Greek Bible.
And they had printing presses.
So it began to spread all over, and people could read it for themselves.
Amazing. But he not only had this Greek in his book, he retranslated the Latin.
And that got him in trouble.
Well, at first, his book was dedicated to the Pope. And the
No.
Pope didn't read it, because he probably didn't read, and said, let it be spread
So it spread all over the place.
with the Pope's blessing.
And so more and more people are hearing the spark in the dark.
Yeah, so what you got, hold it, let's just go on, because these sparks are really beautiful, yeah? So what you got is, you've got Wycliffe,
Yeah.
yeah, lol,
1330.
lol,
Lol.
Yeah.
Lollards.
the
Yep.
lollards, yeah. You've got goose,
Yep. Huss.
us, goose.
Yeah.
You've got cartoons,
Yep.
lol,
Goose. Cartoons.
cartoons, and a single word.
Single word.
A single word.
What word?
One word.
Which word?
Penitence.
What?
So, in Erasmus' book,
Yes.
Greek,
Yes.
Latin,
Yes.
New Latin version,
Yes.
he changed a word.
What?
You know.
So where they had, was it do penance?
Yeah. Which means
You got to
I've
do
got to do stuff,
pay money.
yeah, to sort of cleanse my sin, really, and then I might be able to get right with God.
Yes.
Do.
So do penance.
Yeah.
Erasmus made it be penitent.
Yeah.
Which means not do stuff to make up for it, but be truly sorry and turn around.
Brilliant. Guess who read that?
Swan.
The Swan. And when he read it, he sang. Spark in the dark.
Spark in the dark.